Have you ever wondered why some people with a lot of money don't buy certain products that many of us dream of having? Why do the rich avoid certain expenses while others consider them essential? In this video, we are going to discover the reasons behind these differences. We will see what the rich prefer to avoid buying and, most importantly, why they make these decisions. You may think it's just a matter of money, but in reality, there are many factors at play. From the way they value their time and experiences, to how they view money and investments, wealthier people tend to have a different approach when it comes to spending. Let's begin. Number 1. Brand clothing. We've all seen TV superstars wearing stunning exclusive designer suits, dresses, and very expensive shoes. And of course, many people who don't have that much money want to look the same. Some save for months or even go into debt to achieve that celebrity look, because they believe it will make them look more successful or belong to a higher class. But here's a fun fact. Truly rich people don't obsess over the price or brand of their clothes. For them, comfort is much more important. They prefer simple t-shirts and jeans. No flashy brands or giant logos. Only clothes that make them feel comfortable and allow them to move easily. Because they are self-confident and do not need to demonstrate their success through their clothing. Take Mark Zuckerberg, the creator of Facebook, for example. Despite being the youngest billionaire in history, you will almost always see him wearing a gray t-shirt and jeans. He could afford any designer clothes he wanted, but he prefers to keep it simple and comfortable. This allows him to focus on what really matters to him, instead of wasting time choosing what to wear each day. Another good example is Steve Jobs, the co-founder of Apple. He had a characteristic look: black sweater, jeans, and sneakers. Although he had the money to buy any brand name clothing, he preferred a simple style. So, while many of us think that having designer clothing is a sign of success, the truly successful know that their value does not depend on the labels they wear. They prefer to invest their money in things that really matter to them, such as their projects or even learning new things. In short, it is not expensive clothes that make a person belong to a higher class. So the next time you see someone in simple clothes, remember that success is not always measured by the brands we wear, but by what we carry inside and how we feel about ourselves. Number 2. Expensive cars. Buying a new car may be tempting, but the truth is that it is not the best financial option for most people. Imagine that you have just bought your 0 kilometers car, and you leave the dealership. Do you know what happens? That car loses 20% of its value at that same moment. Yes, just as you hear it, that means that if you bought a $50,000 car, as soon as you drive it off the lot, it's only worth $40,000. This is not to say that all people with money avoid new cars. Some do and have no problem spending that amount of money. However, others, who are more financially savvy, look for pre-owned cars. What does this mean? They are cars that are in perfect condition, almost like new, but have a used price. In this way, they avoid the large loss of initial value. You have to understand that a car is not an investment. An investment is something that can increase in value over time, like a house or shares in a company. On the other hand, a car is an expense since it does not return any type of benefit periodically. If you have bought a car on credit, you have to pay interest and monthly payments. And even if you have paid it in cash, the car continues to generate expenses. You have to put gas in it, pay for insurance, do maintenance, buy spare parts, change the oil, and more. All of these costs add up to a lot of money over time. And this is something that people with money take into account when they decide to make a purchase. So, rich people who think smart prefer to buy pre-owned cars to avoid that big initial loss in value and reduce expenses a little. Additionally, it is not uncommon for them to opt for more practical and efficient cars instead of the more expensive and luxurious models, which only add more maintenance costs. Number 3. Luxurious houses. You would be surprised to know that many rich people don't live in impressive mansions like you might imagine. In fact, many prefer to live in more modest places, which do not have such a high value compared to their wealth. Why does this happen? Well, for starters, people with less money often feel the pressure of living in homes they can't really afford. This is more common than you think. They go into debt to pay high mortgages, just so they can say they have a big house. However, many wealthy people, although they could afford to buy mansions, choose not to. Because a huge and luxurious house involves many expenses that are not really necessary. First, A larger home means more money in maintenance, repairs, taxes, and utilities. Every month you would have to spend a significant amount just to keep everything in good condition. Plus, more space means more things to clean and care for. For example, Warren Buffett, one of the richest men in the world, has lived in the same modest house in Omaha, Nebraska, since 1958. Although he could buy any mansion anywhere in the world, he chooses to stay in his relatively simple home because he doesn't feel the need to spend more on something you don't need. Rich people often prefer to invest in real estate, but not in the houses where they live. They buy income-producing properties, such as apartment buildings or commercial properties. These investments make them money every month, rather than taking money away from them like a luxury home would. Before continuing with the list, if today's content seems interesting to you, I invite you to give it a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next video. Now, let's continue. Number 4. Latest technology devices. Have you ever bought the latest model phone even though your old one still worked perfectly? We've all done it at some point. Sometimes we even borrow money or sell something to be able to buy that new device. And because? Well, probably because we want to look more modern and maybe a little richer. However, many rich and successful people don't care as much about having the latest gadget. They stick with their phones, tablets, or laptops for several years and feel completely fine with it. For them, it's not about impressing others with the newest model, but rather using something that still works well and serves its purpose. An example of all this is Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple. Although he runs one of the largest technology companies in the world, he himself has mentioned in interviews that he does not change his device with each new release. Even Bill Gates, the founder of Microsoft, is not known for being on the cutting edge of gadgets. He prefers to use his devices for years before considering a replacement. Why do they do this? Because they understand the true value of money. They know that buying the latest gadget doesn't necessarily improve their quality of life or their efficiency. Instead, they prefer to invest their money in things that really matter and that generate more benefits in the long term, such as investments in stocks, properties, or in experiences that enrich their lives. So, the next time you're tempted to upgrade your cell phone, think about whether you really need it or if you're just trying to impress others. You may find that your old phone still has a lot to give. Number 5. Big parties. The truth is that, surprisingly, it is middle-class people who tend to spend a lot of money on these things. Think about those $10,000, $20,000 weddings, or even more. In other words, it is not necessarily the rich who pay for these parties, but rather the people who do not have that much money. Sometimes they even go into debt to be able to hold one of these events. We could say that these people spend so much in a single night just to impress others. People who really have money, on the other hand, tend to prefer privacy and avoid doing something so ostentatious. For them, it's not just about the money, but also the time it takes to throw a great party. And as many rich people would say, time is money. Take Mark Zuckerberg again. When he got married, he had a simple ceremony in the yard of his house. He didn't need a lavish event to celebrate one of the most important days of his life. They probably do this because they understand the true value of time. Instead of spending a fortune on a party that lasts only a few hours, they prefer to invest that money in things that really matter, such as their businesses or charitable causes. Additionally, many wealthy people value privacy. They do not feel the need to show off their wealth through ostentatious parties. For them, tranquility and privacy are more valuable. Therefore, they prefer to spend quality time with their loved ones in a more relaxed and private environment. Number 6. Unhealthy food. Imagine that you have two plates in front of you. One belongs to a rich person and the other to someone with less income. In the first dish, you see steamed vegetables, whole grains, and maybe some boiled chicken. At first glance, it doesn't look very appetizing, right? On the second plate, you see a big juicy burger with greasy and salty fries. It looks delicious, doesn't it? Now, guess whose plate each belongs to? The simplest and healthiest food is usually the choice of rich people. They prefer something that may seem tasteless, but is good for their health and, in the long run, cheaper. On the other hand, people with less income often opt for foods that are more delicious but are not as good for their health or their wallet. Why is this happening? First, because the rich tend to be more conscious of what they put in their bodies. They know that eating healthy will give them more energy, improve their overall well-being, and prevent future health problems. For example, Jeff Bezos has spoken about the importance of a balanced diet to maintain your energy and focus. In addition, healthy foods, although they may seem more expensive at first, end up being cheaper. One package of fresh vegetables and grains can make several meals and gives you essential nutrients. While fast foods like burgers and fries may be cheap in the moment, they are expensive in the long run. Not only because you need to eat more to feel full, but also because they can lead to health problems like obesity and heart disease, which means more medical bills. So remember that choosing healthier is not only better for your body, but also better for your wallet in the long run. You don't have to be rich to eat like one. You just need to be aware of your choices and think about the long-term benefits. A healthy diet will help you feel better, work better, and save money in the future. Number 7. Training to get rich. Have you ever thought that rich people achieve their success by attending magical training sessions that promise to make you rich in 5 easy steps for only $79.99 per session? The reality is that the vast majority of those who attend these courses do not become rich. These courses on how to become rich and successful often only benefit their creators. They are the ones who really get rich selling the idea that there is a quick and easy path to wealth. But for most people, these courses do not deliver the promised results. The rich understand that there are no real shortcuts to success. Instead of spending their money on these courses, they invest in their education in more practical and effective ways. For example, they read books, attend seminars relevant to their industry, and, above all, apply what they learn in their daily lives and work. So, if you really want to achieve success and wealth, don't fall into the trap of these courses that promise miraculous results. Instead, focus your time and money on learning practical skills, continually improving, and working smart and efficiently. So, the next time you see an ad for a get-rich-quick course, think twice before spending your money. In short, the rich avoid buying these 7 things because they know that true value is not in luxury or showing off expensive things, but in quality, experience, and smart investments. On the other hand, many low-income people want to have these things to impress others and feel more successful. It seems that the key is in the mentality and in making smart purchases that really add value to our lives. Do you know of any purchases that high-income people don't make and poor people do? We'll read you in the comments. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss new content like this.